Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, my fellow Chibits. Today I'm here to bring you a manga chapter review of Assassination Classroom chapter 147. What a perfect way to begin a great day. Start off with Assassination Classroom. Like, I woke up, and as soon as I check everything, I see Assassination Classroom out, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get to see what's going to happen between Karma and, Nagisa, and see how that's going to go down. This entire chapter was set up for the final chapter, because from what I found out, next week supposedly is the 3rd anniversary of Assassination Classroom, because if you read the bottom right of the page, like the final page of the chapter, it says next week we should expect a color page, and we should expect the 3rd anniversary. So for a 3rd anniversary chapter to be coming out, it's very obvious that the fight between Nagisa and Karma is going to be concluded in next week's chapter, because with a color and 3rd anniversary, that would be a best way to end this arc off of with the next week's chapter with the anniversary. So, what am I expecting? Honestly, I have no idea. I really don't know who will win. I mean, it seems like the odds are stacked against Nagisa, but we know Nagisa is not someone you should really underestimate. So, I don't know. I'm not counting either of them out at this moment, but let's, talk about what the chapter is about. So, the chapter's main focus, as I already stated, it's about setup for, I'm guessing, the final confrontation between Nagisa and Karma in next week's chapter. This chapter shows a glimpse at Karma and Nagisa's relationship, getting to see how they met and what really happened to them while they were in school, and why they kind of have this mutual understanding and also separated somewhat in the past. They come to find out all this information with this chapter, and this is stuff that a lot of us manga readers, or, new time readers such as myself, that's, watched from the anime, has wanted to know, why did Karma and Nagisa hang out, and how they know each other, and, what was their backstory. That was something I've always wanted to know, and with the chapter, it finally really dives into that, and you get to see what the relationship really is, or what it was. So, from what we found out, from the way they met, Nagisa supposedly was like a harmless little animal to Karma. Karma fought him, Nagisa, like a harmless little animal, and he was always around people that were very strong, a threat pretty much, and he always was worried about these people, and so he would just strike them, take them down, and he felt like he could be around Nagisa without even having to worry about himself or anything like that. But he had this creepy feeling every so often, like for instance when Nagisa snuck up behind him and like poked him, he got very scared. He felt like something very savage and wild was around him, like a snake, but he couldn't really pinpoint what it was, because he was, in terms of physical strength, he was a lot stronger. In terms of academics, he was a lot stronger, so he couldn't pinpoint what this was that Nagisa had, and it scared him, and so he kept Nagisa at a distance throughout their school life and before they entered the Assassination Classroom, which makes a lot more sense now, getting to see the relationship, and now seeing why Karma has acted the way he has done throughout this entire series. It does make a lot more sense from his actions and the way he has acted in the series. And then on Nagisa's, standpoint of this entire ordeal, he met Karma, and for some reason he was, always fascinated with Karma, because Karma, he was very smart, very intelligent, and he seemed to be this, hard-working student, this person that put so much effort into everything, and he respected Karma so much. Eventually, one day, Karma came over to Nagisa when he was reading one of his magazines that was called Sonic Ninja, and it was like, oh, we need to go see this movie and stuff. And I mean, we have seen this once again in the past of Assassination Classroom with the relationship between Nagisa and Karma, going to see the movies and stuff like that. But what was really shocking was what Nagisa fought after that entire ordeal. As time slowly progressed, and as I already explained about Karma's, standpoint on this, Nagisa thought that Karma was distancing himself from Nagisa because he was boring, he was useless, he was nothing special, so to say. And that's why he thinks that Karma put a distance between him and, Karma. Like, why there's a distance, a big gap between them. And with the chapter, that gap has kind of finally been realized. Like, they realize why there's a gap, and they also are trying to confront this gap to make sure it's completely closed. That's kind of what is going on in this chapter. Once again, another life lesson to be learned in Assassination Classroom. You never you never get the full picture if you look at one side. That's one thing you need to really look at. For instance, one person's perspective on this situation is probably not going to have all the exact details as if you had both sides of whatever happened of the situation. For instance, Karma and Nagisa's viewpoint on this entire matter. And so we got to see both sides, which, like I said, a life lesson to be learned. You really can't understand someone until someone speaks up, and you really get to learn them, and, you know, you can put yourself in their shoes, and that's kind of what this chapter is trying to show us. And so I can't wait to see what is going to go down. I mean, whose might is stronger? Is it, you know, the willpower and, I mean, the absurd strength of Karma that has great academics and physical strength? Will he overpower and destroy Nagisa? Or will Nagisa be able to assassinate Karma because of his aura that seems like he's an innocent little animal? I mean, there's a lot of debates you can debate and determine who is probably going to win, but for now, we just have to see until next week. So tell me your thoughts. How do you all feel about this chapter? I love you. Please be safe. Chibi out.